Welcome to the 60 Plus Podcast.
I'm Janet.
And I'm Joe. You've got the allergies this week. I had them a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
And and it's funny because I love being outside.
sometimes it's a good thing.
It's a really good thing to be outside. And now I'm like, oh, if I go outside, I'm going to get pollen all over me. And then and I'm sneezing and I'm huffing and I'm puffing and all kinds of fun things.
Well, maybe we should change the topic of this week's
I know.
episode.
That's right, because we're talking about the benefits of nature.
Benefits of nature and being outside. And
Yeah, especially for over 60, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was like keyed off of this idea of the science behind the feel good. It's like we all know we feel better when we've been outside or you take a walk or something. But there's
I feel
real-
better after a nap.
Yeah, well, there's real science behind it. So it's kind of cool. And I had been reading this article about this community center in Hawaii where people were working together to clean up this park, this
There's a
natural
park that
preserve.
had kind of gone
Askew.
askew. Yeah, it was littered and there were
You're right.
homeless people hanging out there
Right.
and that kind of thing.
Right. So they found that after weeks, like old people were doing better with
Don't
mobility.
call them old people.
Older people were doing better with mobility. Younger people were doing better with your mental state. So if you think about it, we're reading the larger picture on this, which I thought was interesting about globally. Mental health
Mhm.
issues are on the rise and whatnot, as well as this aging population. And sure, there's, I guess, drugs, but they can be expensive and people
can be.
can't get them.
hmm
And they're finding or the alternatives to better health. And guess what one of them is?
Pollen?
No, being out in nature.
Okay,
So we looked
With the
into
pollen.
it. We looked into it.
we did.
So what they found was even regular periods of, short time, 30 minutes a few times a week or a total of 2 hours a week can lead to significant health benefits.
It can. And
Yep. We're going to talk about that
I
today.
live by everything in moderation, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But this one, 2 hours a week outdoors, that's definite moderation. You can go more than 2 hours a week easily.
Yes. And there's probably increasing benefits too. So it's not like you can do too much here. We're going to talk about those benefits, and there's physical benefits, and there's mental benefits, and there's social benefits. It sounds very similar to what we've talked about before, but we're going to take a deeper dive into specifically when you, as they suggest, step outside first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning. This one,
Why
I
it's
always thought
so
this was
good.
kind of bunk.
Right.
I
Yeah,
did.
like
I
it's an
really
old-
did.
Yes.
But
like
no,
you'd hear it and you'd be like, why would I want to step outside first thing in the morning? Well, there's actually good reason for that. The other area that we're going to look at more specifically is the neurological benefits. And here comes the science. Why does this actually have all these positive effects neurologically? And these are certainly areas that we're interested in our age group. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is this idea of reversing aging. What does it
Yay.
actually do? So, this is all good stuff for us to know about.
so getting outside first thing in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
within the first hour of waking is what I read,
Yeah.
is it resets your body's internal 24-hour clock. So it helps with your circadian rhythm.
Right. Yep. And the morning light, especially sunlight, viewed in the first hour of waking is the most powerful signal to reset your body's internal 24-hour clock.
hmm
So that's good to know. It basically is telling your brain, hey, it's daytime.
It gives you a shot of cortisol.
Yep. And it suppresses the hormone melatonin. And that cortisol spike will make you feel alert and awake. And it gives your body basically the cues to sort of synchronize everything and get ready for the day.
Maybe I should put my coffee setup outside.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be good?
that is kind of good. I'll come over. We can anytime anybody makes me coffee, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't even have to invite her. She just shows up.
It's like, is it coffee time? I'm ready for my second cup of the day.
Uh-huh.
So that's cool.
It is.
Yep.
If you live in an urban environment, they say getting outside first thing is good because that's generally when the air is less polluted and less
Y-
smoggy.
Yes, yeah. So there's lots of good reasons to do this. So potentially cleaner air, the mood boost. It also can reduce stress. So it can trigger serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter linked to feelings of well-being and happiness. So this is what I love, the science behind these things, right?
Hmm.
Like what's happening with your body. You're basically setting a positive emotional tone for the day, which is great. So we love that. We love that idea.
I agree.
Yeah.
So what else we got?
Well, the other thing is that there are like concrete conditions that it can help. So it strengthens the immune system to help us reduce illnesses, triggers vitamin D production.
That's really important. So
Right.
people, we're coming out of winter where we live.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's spring,
Right.
and although the heat's still on at my place, but
Not mine.
no,
Uh-uh.
yeah, I know. People suffer from seasonal what is
What
it?
is it? Sad. It's called SAD.
Seasonal adjustment disorder or
Yes.
something like that,
Yeah.
and it's because they don't get enough light,
Right. And
sunlight.
the vitamin D is, and it's good for bone health and immune support.
Hmm.
But this also intrigued me was regular physical activity in nature can help prevent and manage conditions like osteoporosis, some cancers, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. And it can also lessen arthritis symptoms and reduce risk of respiratory issues.
It can lower your dementia risk,
Yep.
and there's significant benefits for people that have Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Now, I think some of the reading that I did about this was, yes, it's being outside and in nature and breathing good air and all
Yep.
that kind of thing. But part of it is just getting out and moving.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And if you're inside, you're probably not moving as much. The different kinds of things that you can do when you're outside, some people are very kind of exercise focused. They run, they bike, they
Yeah.
walk.
But yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but they even did like a comparison between going out into nature in urban areas and going out to nature in, like, say, a mountain,
Mhm.
and even that difference is comparatively better when you're,
It
it's
is.
it's cleaner air, it's more of this sort of emotional connection, less noise, it gets you sort of focused, it gives your brain a rest. So I hear what you're saying, like, well, physical activity is good, but it's even better outside, and it's even better outside where there's not a lot of other
Sure, sure.
activity,
Now,
right?
that's not to say that if you live in a city or you live in an urban area that you shouldn't go outside.
No, of course not. Of course not. No.
If you can get to a more natural kind of environment, that's great.
Yeah.
If you can't, well,
Right.
then do what you can.
Right. So basically, it's the benefits, to your point, is yes, physical activity, but it's also sensory stimulation, stress reduction, and exposure to natural sunlight.
Hmm.
So, wherever you can get that. Now, if you're going outside and you're walking along like I can't walk along a busy road or
No,
a highway or anything. It's very distracting to me, and I'm not relaxing. It's kind of more stressful to me.
I live in a city. It's not a big city, but I
Right.
live in a city, and there are times when I walk most every day. There are times when I'll walk in the woods. I'll go on a trail or I'll go on a harbor walk. But lately, I've been walking through the neighborhoods,
Mhm.
and I find that really, really interesting. And
And you're seeing new different things
seeing
and
different things
yeah. Mhm.
and seeing other people doing different things and getting to look at architecture. There's all kinds of things going on.
Right. Yeah.
But there are other things you can do besides just going out for a walk. And one of the things that I'm specifically not very good at, but one of the things that I read is a suggested activity for people that may not be as athletic as someone who goes for a 20-mile bike ride
Mhm.
or run. Gardening.
Oh yeah, it's great to get your hands in the dirt too, which also might be, getting your hands in the dirt, right? They talk about like barefooting and the benefits of walking barefoot or grounding it's called or
Hmm.
earthing. And if you're getting your hands into that garden, that's you can't get much better than that from that perspective. And it focuses your energy on something specific, and you're out in the air and you're moving around and moving in ways you don't normally move in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good for that muscle toning and stuff
Mm-hmm.
because your muscles get into a routine and you don't get as much benefit.
Sure.
So I think, yeah, gardening is really a great outdoor activity, which was exactly what these people were doing in Hawaii that we were talking about. And people were getting rid of their canes and all kinds of, amazing stuff that was happening.
Sure.
So there's definitely some science behind this. And for people in our age group, they also talk about the neurological advantages of all of this. And guess what the top of the list is here?
I don't know. I lost.
Enhanced cognitive function,
Ah,
which is kind of what you're
you could
talking.
use some of that right now.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for calling that out.
Oh, you
Improve.
get your allergies, and it kind of gives you a little brain fog
Well,
sometimes.
that's true. Yeah, because I took an antihistamine. That I just want to take a nap after that. Improved attention and concentration. Natural environments can help restore directed attention. And this is what you're talking about with the gardening, because you're focusing on a specific task, and it depletes the taxing on your brain. It's called attention restoration theory. You could spend time watching the leaves rustle or the water flow, and it actually rests and helps your brain recover. And I guess it's kind of the theory around meditation too. It's that focus, that reducing all of the stimulation that's coming in from many different areas.
So that comes from watching the leaves rustle. Is that what you're telling
That
me?
was one example.
Oh, okay.
But you also get boosted memory, which is another thing that's important for us.
Well,
Right?
we talked about memory last week.
Yeah. So the combination of physical activity with being outdoors increases blood flow to the brain and
Okay.
delivers more oxygen and nutrients to the brain.
Mhm.
Also promotes the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor BDNF, a protein crucial for neuron growth, survival, and the formation of new connections, particularly in the hippocampus, vital for memory.
Hmm.
So there you go.
I was told there'd be no biology involved.
This is what fascinates me, though.
No, it really is fascinating. Something else that I think we've talked about this before. It helps improve sleep.
Yeah, better sleep. And that's back to that circadian rhythm regulation, right? So now, you have that sleep wake cycle. If your body has been woken up in that first half hour and
Mhm.
you're in that full cycle of awake, then you're going to go into that cycle of sleep more easily, and you get better quality sleep, which is, of course, we know is essential for neurological health. We also have reduced risk and slow progression of neurodegenerative diseases,
Mhm.
which you mentioned briefly, the lower dementia risk.
Correct.
Regular physical activity, often done outdoors, is strongly associated with a reduced risk of developing dementia, including Alzheimer's.
There is the act of being outdoors, whether you're gardening or you're walking or
Right.
whatever it
Playing
is that you're doing.
pickleball.
Playing. I was going to say that. How did you know? But for people who have mobility issues, I read that simply sitting in a park or listening to a water fountain and this one cracked
Or
me
the
up,
leaves, Russell.
looking at potted plants can improve mental and social well-being.
I'm buying into this. I mean, I know that for me, it's not necessarily the woods, but it's definitely the beach. I go on that beach and it doesn't take long for me to it's like your whole body's like taking a big sigh of relief,
Hmm.
and you're just watching the waves and you're listening to the waves, and everything else sort of fades away.
So you're a beach person. I love the beach, but I'm not a sit on the beach for hours at a
Oh,
time.
no, I can't do that.
I enjoy walking on the beach, but I also enjoy being in the woods or in the mountains.
Yeah, I do too.
And I've been known to sit and look at a potted plant too. So
What kind of plant?
I never know. I never know what they are. I don't have.
You should get one of those apps, where it
I do.
tells
I
you.
use it.
Do you?
I use it. I have a friend that will knows all the plants, and I'll say, "What is that plant?" And she'll say, "I've told you 5 times before. It's a geranium, or it's a." I,
It's okay,
they don't.
Joe. You can't know everything.
That's true.
You know,
I
your
know everything
brain
else.
can
I know
only
everything
take
else.
so much. What else is good here? Oh, improve mood regulation and mental health. Now,
Hmm.
this is where we started with that article was talking about this. But spending time in nature, especially green spaces, demonstratively lowers levels in the stress hormone cortisol. And chronic stress can negatively impact brain structures like the hippocampus. So, overall brain health is definitely affected. Alleviation of depression and anxiety. Exposure to natural light helps regulate serotonin levels, improving mood. Calming effect of nature combined with physical activity can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, which are significant neurological psychiatric
I'm
concerns.
a little confused. We said getting outside first thing in the morning gave you a shot of cortisol. Now you're saying we want to reduce cortisol. What's the deal with cortisol?
Well, to wake up,
Ah, okay.
you're
Everything in
waking
moderation, I guess.
right. Yeah. You don't want to elevate the cortisol so much. That's what you get when you're anxious. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like like right now,
Are you anxious,
I'm
Joe?
very anxious. I know that you're going to crash from your allergies at some point, and I'll have to carry the ball.
Well, you can pick up the ball anytime you
Okay.
want.
There are social aspects to being outside too, and this is where city dwellers do better than rural or less
Right, because there's more
more
people.
people around, and there's more activity in a
Well, you
big
can,
urban park.
yeah, but you can also get like I know like the meetups. There's so many like hiking meetups and stuff that
Hmm.
you can access that if you want to take a hike and you don't want to go alone in the
Are you telling me
woods,
to take a hike?
take a hike.
All right. Do we want to talk about grounding?
Well, we could, or we could talk about the reversing aging in the
Let's talk
biological.
about both.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
the grounding thing is interesting. I find that kind of interesting. I love to walk barefoot.
I don't.
Okay.
I really, really don't.
Right.
I don't know
Okay.
why. It's never been my thing.
All right. So this was interesting because this idea of barefoot walking, which is also called earthing or grounding,
Hmm.
that they say there's definitely some biomechanical and sensory benefits.
Of
How,
course.
but it's less scientifically established, right?
The,
In
the,
terms of
the other, the
yes,
biomechanical stuff,
yeah,
you
it's
use your feet differently when you're barefoot.
right. And that's good for the muscles in your feet,
Hmm.
right? It's good for your balance. It's good for your gait and your foot alignment. And it's also good for, not cramping your shoes up in footwear. You might not get all those fun foot things that you can tend to get like hammer toe.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. Well, look it up. So I can't
That's
describe.
helpful.
I can't describe it.
There are other less scientifically certain benefits of grounding,
Yeah.
and it has to do with negative electrical charges coming
Yeah, because
from the
this is like
ground.
when you are actually have direct skin
Hmm.
contact with the earth.
Hmm.
Electrons through the earth act as antioxidants, neutralizing positively charged free radicals
Okay.
and reducing electrical imbalances in the body. Do you have electrical imbalances,
I'm
Joe?
sure I do. I'm sure I
So
do.
some people believe that this idea of walking barefoot on the earth can reduce inflammation and pain, improve sleep and normalize cortisol levels, which we've been talking about, reduce stress, anxiety, improve mood, improve blood flow, viscosity, and cardiovascular health,
Hmm.
and boost immune function and wound healing. But of course, if you step on a piece of glass and you won't be wound healing, you'd
You'd be
be
wound
getting a
creating. Yeah.
wound.
So you got to be careful if you're walking barefoot.
Right.
My neighborhood, I wouldn't walk barefoot.
No, you wouldn't want to do that because
Right.
you can get infections, you can get all kinds
Hmm.
of stuff,
Hmm.
right?
All right.
The jury's still out on that. I like to walk barefoot in the sand,
Sure.
but even that, some people say, wash your feet afterward.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah, because if there's bad stuff in the water, then there's going to be bad stuff in the sand, right?
I suppose.
I suppose.
I think we have time to talk about the reverse aging
Yeah, this is my
aspects of being.
favorite part.
Okay.
So, guess what the first benefit of this physical outdoor activity and nature will do for you?
Do you really want me to tell you, or is that a rhetorical question?
I want to use the word,
Go ahead.
it reduces sarcopenia.
Which is muscle loss
Correct.
that people
It's
of
a
a certain
fancy
age,
way of saying muscle loss.
that people of a certain age suffer from
Yeah,
if you don't stay on top of it.
right. So these outdoor activities, brisk walking, hiking, gardening, cycling, can help maintain muscle mass and strength,
hmm
which fights sarcopenia.
Have you ever dug a hole, like a big hole?
Oh, I've dug plenty of holes, let me tell you. And I'm still
I'm
trying.
talking literal
I'm
holes.
still trying to get out of them. No,
No, that's hard work.
it is hard.
No, it's really
you're
hard
right.
work.
It's much better to go around the hole than to go into the hole.
All right. It also helps with osteoporosis risk.
Bone health.
Yep.
It tends to decrease the fracture risk, increasing bone density. So, especially weight bearing activities, walking, hiking,
hmm
stimulate bone cells to maintain or even slightly increase density. Also, outdoor exposure also boosts vitamin D production from sunlight, which is also crucial for calcium absorption and bone health.
hmm
There you go. Science.
Science.
Science. What was that song?
Thomas Dolby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would sing it, but I can't like place it. Can you do it?
I can place it, but I'm not going to
Science.
sing. I'm not going to sing it,
Enhancing cardiovascular function.
which is always good.
Yep. Heart function may become less efficient. Arteries can stiffen, right? In old age.
I don't imagine looking at potted plants really enhances
No,
your
but aerobic
cardiovascular function.
activities,
Exactly.
walking, swimming,
Yep.
cycling,
Yep.
improve heart health, lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and increase aerobic capacity, effectively mitigating age-related cardiovascular decline.
When we're talking about reversing aging, we're not talking about, oh, now I'm 50.
Yeah, no, it's not biologically
No.
reversing, but it can
It can help or
counteract, slow down, and improve functional declines.
Correct.
Right? And make you feel better.
Sure.
Boosting balance, mobility, and reducing fall risk.
No.
Walking, all that good stuff. Improving cognitive function. We talked about that already. Elevating mood and reducing isolation. And again, back to vitamin D and serotonin. Natural exposure reduces stress hormones. Participating in outdoor group activities combats social isolation. Back to pickleball.
Yep. And getting outside
Yep.
and just being active. We talk about it all the time.
It's good, good, good.
All good
Yes.
stuff. Whether you're wearing shoes or you're barefoot, whether you're looking at a potted plant or you're planting a plant
Or you're in the park or out on a mountain top. It's
or
all good.
swimming or cycling.
But I think the bottom line for me is yes, get outside, do it
Mhm.
as much as you can. But that first hour,
Yeah, I'm going
and
to
I
do
wonder
that.
how, I think you only have to be out for like,
A few minutes.
20 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm not sure. I don't think it's long.
Well, 5 minutes is better than 0.
Yeah, just,
And 10 minutes is
I
better.
do tend to sometimes step outside as soon as if I go out on my balcony
hmm
to see what the weather's like. But now, of course, I stepped out this morning and it was like all green.
It's that time of year where we live where the mornings are just, as long as it's sunny, the mornings are just really beautiful.
Beautiful, but there's pollen. But they do say the air in the morning is
A little
actually
better.
the best.
So go outside,
Go outside.
put your earbuds in, and listen to the 60 Plus
Or
podcast.
no.
Yes. No.
Okay, fine.
Go for a walk and listen
All
to
right,
the
I
60
was
Plus
thinking
podcast.
like listen to the leaves rustle.
Listen to our
the
melodious
birds
voices.
sing.
Well, you put one earbud in.
So you can listen to the 60 Plus podcast.
So I think that's it. Go outside, move around,
Have fun.
have fun, enjoy if you
Get
wear
some vitamin D.
the weather is nice, enjoy the weather.
Yes.
If not, put a sweater on and go outside. That's it for this week's episode of the 60 Plus podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Janet. Bye.